welcome to our special program. I'm Ankita Mukherjee. India has weathered two COVID-19 waves. The one thing this has done is make health a primary focus for most of us. The overwhelming feeling is that we have to do our bit to prevent or at least be better prepared for a possible third wave or, of course, future COVID waves. It's not just individuals. The pandemic has had a massive impact on health systems around the world and perhaps made us a little more aware of what we're dealing with. While dealing with COVID, we've overlooked the fact that people's lifestyles have been severely disrupted. As a result, metabolic problems have also become more common. It's imperative for people with diabetes and heart disease to understand how to better manage their conditions at home. Learning how to control diabetes, heart disease will also save money and time and hopefully have fewer emergency and hospital visits. Our big focus today, the interlinkages between COVID-19 and diabetes, which appear to work in both directions. On the one hand, diabetes is associated with an increased risk of severe COVID-19. On the other hand, some people can develop diabetes after an acute COVID-19 infection. Today we have with us experts to share with you advice on diabetes and its management and on how to make India a diabetes care capital. Well, today we have with us experts to share with you advice on diabetes and its management and on how to make India a diabetes care capital. Well, Dr. P. Deepa Lakshmi, MD Diabetes. She's a diabetologist, at the BGM Hospital in Madurai. Joining us on the program also Dr. R. Barua, MD, DM, FSCAI, FACC. He's a consultant interventional cardiologist with Apollo Hospital in Guwahati. Dr. Deepa Lakshmi, let me begin by asking you, for some people, surviving COVID-19 has actually led to lasting medical concerns, and this has included newly diagnosed diabetes. So why are people developing diabetes after having COVID-19?
COVID-19 situations, there is a pathology underlying that, ACE receptors in pancreas, which get attached to the corona spike virus. So which will cause the beta cell regressions and insulin secretion is reduced, and then they are falling into diabetes. And attached to this, they have a lot of stress during the COVID situations, and treatment of COVID also is initiated with the steroids.
Right.
And all this will add on to the post-COVID infection.
Dr. Barua, anything that you would also like to add to that? The fact that it's not just, diabetes leading to more severe COVID-19 cases, but that the reverse is also turning out to be true. That in fact, people are being newly diagnosed with diabetes after recovering from COVID.
Because this is COVID infection is a continuous inflammation process, and that can lead to increased stress, and then the sugar level may go up. And also, as this previous doctor already told, that because of the steroid that is very necessary in the COVID situation, COVID infection, so that might lead to increasing in sugar level. So this ongoing inflammation and then use of this steroid, and then also there is beta cell dysfunction, so that might cause diabetes. So I think there are various factors that can lead to increase in sugar level.
So, Dr. Barua, a growing number of studies suggest that many COVID-19 survivors experience some type of heart damage also, even if they didn't have an underlying heart disease to begin with. What COVID-19 seems to be doing to the heart is also a matter of concern even after recovery.
Yeah, that in COVID infections, there is a formation of clot inside the arteries and inside the veins. And because all the critical organs, including the heart, and it has those arteries and the veins, and the COVID infection can lead to the thrombosis, the formation of the clot inside, and the various vascular events can take place, like myocardial infarction, we commonly call it the heart attack, and the stroke that is in the brain, and then in the peripheral vessels, we can have the deep vein thrombosis. The vein might have some clot, and so yes, this COVID can induce various thrombotic process in the blood vessels and cause a stroke, heart attack, or deep vein thrombosis or peripheral artery disease.
Dr. Deepa Lakshmi, the lockdown has obviously increased sedentary behavior. Many more people are working from home or being cautious about venturing outside at all. Now, that has probably had an unintended adverse effect on diets, on exercise regimes. You know, people tend to just open the refrigerator when they're at home and start snacking on things. Exercise obviously also takes a back seat. Do you think the management of existing diabetes conditions has also been impacted because of the nature of this lockdown and what it has forced us to do?
Actually, lockdown has given positively good thing also, and as you said, there is adverse reaction for the treatment also. So being at home, they cook at home and they avoid junk food. All those things are there, but walking, going to gym has been restricted.
Right.
And the lockdown itself has caused a lot of stress, which they have not done the routine work.
Mm-hmm.
So that also has got a lot of impact on the diabetes.
Dr. Barua, you know, work from home has obviously given people some flexibility, some convenience, but at the same time, it's also led to an increase in stress levels, as Dr. Deepa Lakshmi is also pointing out. What impact has this had on heart health?
The heart, to prevent cardiac disease, the most important factor is that we have to continuously do physical activities. So if we stop physical activities, that is what we have observed in this lockdown period, because most of the times the things are done from home, and there is no physical contact and there is no social mix-up also, and that those are the stress factors in the social world. And also if we keep on doing things from home also, so our physical activity is restricted, there is less of walking or other activities. Actually, in the to being healthy or to keep the heart healthy, most important is this physical activity. We have to continuously do some form of activities, or it is better to be structured like yoga or pranayam or some exercises. So definitely in the lockdown period, there was tremendous impact of not doing these activities, and that is why probably one of the factor that can lead to increasing in the cardiac diseases.
Right. Dr. Deepa Lakshmi, you know, we've already talked about how the prevalence of diabetes is obviously increasing because of the multiple reasons that have already come up in this discussion. Now, can the 90-90-90 program actually be the solution to this problem? Can you tell us more about what the 90-90-90 program is, and explain to our viewers how it could possibly help to reduce the prevalence of diabetes in India?
Yeah. The 90-90-90 program, which is actually initiated in Canada, a Canada group of diabetes experts with the association with the Canadian government, basically with Julio Montera and Russell William. The program actually was done successfully for HIV patients. The results were very good. So the diabetic treatment and prevention also was started with that in 2017 till 2018. Then the 90-90 part explains that 90% of the population, pre-diabetic and diabetic, will be screened and diagnosed with the disease, and 90% of the patient will be treated with the disease. 90% of the patient will be followed strictly and rightly achieve the A1C level to near normal. So to make India a diabetic care capital, this will be very useful, and it's a successful program.
Right.
And
Okay, so just to sum up what you said for our viewers, the 90-90-90 program that we just heard about from our doctor, by this we are able to manage conditions with proper medication and lifestyle changes. First 90 stands for 90% of awareness and detection. The second 90 stands for 90% treatment. And the third 90 stands for control. Now, achieving 90% of people with diabetes in control, we can actually attain a goal of having India become a diabetes care capital, and that is probably imperative at this point in time. We will take a very quick break at this point, but there is much more to talk about on the show. We'll be back with our experts in just a moment. Welcome back to our special program. Our big focus, of course, today is the interlinkages between COVID-19 and diabetes and heart disease and how this can be addressed. We have our medical experts with us. Dr. Barua, what may be the reasons for more hypertension cases during the pandemic? Stress, of course, is the one that immediately springs to mind. What else?
It's a very important question. So because in clinical practice, this COVID pandemic, we have been seeing lot of patients diagnosed with new onset hypertension. And that could be one reason because of this inflammatory process. There might be vasoconstriction that can lead to hypertension. Second, it could be the use of certain medications like steroids. The steroid can increase the incidence of higher blood pressure. And third is that because there is a formation of clot, particularly in the microvessels, that can also lead to hypertension. And also stress and other factors. And also many of the patients we have been seeing that because of the pain or because of some other reasons, they have been using painkillers. That could be another reasons that blood pressure is increasing. So because of this vascular events and increasing in blood pressure and also cardiac related issues are increasing. So there are actually multiple factors that can lead to increased incidence of hypertension in this COVID pandemic.
So, Dr. Deepa Lakshmi, can newly diagnosed diabetes patients avoid medications if they follow, a strict regime?
yes, and it also depends on the blood glucose level. Depending on their level, if it's too high, they have to be reduced to normal values and sustain them for a long time. And if the lifestyle modifications, diet control, and regular follow-up of doctor is available, then definitely there is a good yes.
All right. Any other tips that you would like to give, Dr. Deepa Lakshmi? I mean, just maybe explain these very points that you're making in a little more detail for our viewers on how they can do this.
First thing, they should not be feared or stressed out with diabetes, and regular checking of blood glucose level at home or nearby clinic, and following a diet pattern with low carb and low sugar,
right,
fat free, and high protein, and then they can also boost up the immunity to break this pandemic, and take some.
And how should that be done, Dr. Deepa Lakshmi? How should the immune system be boosted?
Definitely, they can boost the immune system with a regular food diet intake, which culturally friendly food, and
right.
Avoid junk food.
So are there any particular eating patterns, Dr. Deepa Lakshmi, that should be followed?
They can have a frequent meals with gap.
Okay, thank you for that. Let me also go across to Dr. Barua at this point. Can controlling blood pressure, blood sugar and regular physical activity help patients also increase their immunity against other infectious diseases along with food and dietary changes?
Yes, of course. The control of sugar and then preventing diabetic and then controlling of blood pressure with adequate medications, because these are the risk factors that can lead to decrease in the immunity level, and then once immunity level is suppressed, and there's a more chances of other infections. So obviously controlling these factors can lead to improving immunity and preventing further infections.
Dr. Barua, of course, the one thing that we keep hearing about, especially for those with hypertension, is reduce salt, reduce salt, reduce salt. But do you recommend that for only those with hypertension, or could we all perhaps do with sort of reducing the intake of salt? What is your view on this?
We always talk about the white toxins in our foods, like one of them is the salt and the second is the sugar. So these are the white toxins. So if we consume more of salt and the sugar, and there is increasing chance of diseases. So accordingly, what we suggest that we have to restrict the salt intake, and then because in India, so the people are salt sensitive, and then a conjunction of increasing salt can lead to increased incidence of hypertension. So basically, we always endorse that people should take less salt and restrict extra salt.
Dr. Deepa Lakshmi, one last question to you. We appear to see a relatively younger population now getting diagnosed with pre-diabetes or diabetes. Is that a concern, and how do we address this?
Actually, the present days, even in my clinic, I see a lot of young diabetes detected people. This is mainly due to the lifestyle modifications in them, and having heavy junk food, and not maintaining the weight according to their height.
Right. And what else would you say is important?
Yeah, and they should also have a regular checkup and detect them early and diagnose and treat them in advance, and get a check of their health.
How often would you say they should be coming for checkups?
Usually, very young people don't tend to walk in for health checkup, but once they are seen that they are obese and they have a few complaints,
right,
then without hesitation they have to walk in and check themselves.
Dr. Barua, any last thoughts that you would like to add?
Yeah, just increasing incidence of diabetes in younger populations. We have been seeing younger populations suffering from myocardial infarction, that is heart attack also, and other vascular events, stroke also, because of this changes in the lifestyles, because we need to control our weight. That is very essential, because increasing the weight will cause increasing in the vascular events like myocardial infarction, heart attack, stroke, or clot in the legs also is very important. And also the proper diet. We recommend the DASH diet, the dietary approach to stop hypertension. So basically to consume less salt, more of fruits and the vegetables, and also the consumption of nuts also, because these are kind of Mediterranean foods that should actually consume to prevent the cardiac problems, including the hypertensions. And that is why, because of the lockdown, people stopped doing exercise, stopped doing yoga, pranayama. So these activities have tremendous value while decreasing the incidence of hypertension and also various cardiac diseases.
All right. Dr. Deepa Lakshmi, Dr. Barua, thank you both for joining us on this program and helping clear a lot of questions people might have at this point, given that there have been 2 COVID waves already and the possibility of a third around the corner. Everyone's focus really on what they can do to keep themselves safe and fit. A range of questions being answered today. Thank you both very much. Thank you for watching.